The color of the sky not blue anymore. A thick layer of smog has taken over our lives. It's not just in Delhi NCR where I am, but all across North India. So what is it that you should do, especially if you have kids in the house? Kids who are more and more being born with weaker hearts, their only fault is that their parents did breathe this toxic air. How to prevent that? How to ensure that kids in the future do not fall prey to this?
That's right. All these young parents are doing is breathing in, and this toxic air is causing a major impact on the life that kids are going to lead in the future. Hello and welcome. You're watching FII, and the focus today is going to be air pollution, this toxic smog, this cocktail of very, very harmful particles in the air that it is having on kids. Now, let's start by telling you how exactly does it impact. Well, air pollution is the fourth leading risk factor for early death worldwide. So there is blood pressure issues, there is tobacco, there is dietary risk, and then there is air pollution. The fourth largest reason why people lose their life. Let that sink in for a moment over there. Alcohol, malnutrition, kidney, all of that, high LDL, etc., cholesterol levels, all of that comes later. It is just the air that you are breathing. How exactly are kids impacted? Let's look at that next. Well, PM 2.5 has adverse respiratory impact on kids. This we all know. It affects their neurodevelopment, leading to lower cognitive test outcomes. It leads to negatively impacting their mental and motor development. It damages children's lung function. It causes inflammation and impairs the body's ability to fight infection. It causes greater risk for chronic diseases such as cardiovascular diseases later in life as well. It's shrinking in their life, literally. It is the increased risk of developing vitamin D deficiency that kicks in. With vitamin D, a lot of other complications come in. We've done a full episode on that. Increased risk of arteries and valves in your arteries being defected. Air pollution, one of the leading threats to child deaths as well. It accounts for almost 1 in 10 deaths in children under the age of 5. That's the world, friends, we live in, where kids are dying just because they're breathing in and out. Now, why are kids more susceptible? We looked at that research, and it says that basically because children's lungs are still growing and because they're so active and they breathe a great deal of air. Children also have more respiratory infections than adults. Higher particle pollution levels increases the risk of preterm birth as well. Pregnant women, especially exposed to this polluted air, are more likely to give birth prematurely. Developing asthma during childhood or as an adult, wheezing, coughs, lung cancer when they get older as well, infections like pneumonia, all of that, a great deal of risk you are at. Basically, your heart, your lungs and several other organs, then all connected, do not function to the best of their capacity because of this toxic air that's going in your system. Pregnancy outcomes, we look at that research, and that also is quite shocking. Premature birth, low birth weight, abnormal birth length, abnormal head circumference as well. All of that, as research points out, is because of toxic air. That's right, it is not because of any other issue. We talked about deaths. Now look at this figure. Under 5 deaths in India from 2000 to 2015. 57.9% neonatal deaths happened and 42.1% post-neonatal deaths happened as well. And all of this is happening with air pollution, this toxic air that we're all breathing in, having such a major impact and being the single cause behind it. Now, this is something we see. This is something we breathe. You can smell smoke when you go outside. You can see it as well, as I just showed you in that video as well. The sky is all grey. That's how bad it looks visibly. It's telling you that it is an air emergency. And yet, we have policies just sitting on this for now. So while that happens, what is it that you, the parent, can do to ensure that your child is safer? Can't be safe till the time you're in the national capital or all of North India as of this moment. But if you have a child who has a compromised lung function, or a child, or you're pregnant and you're worried about it, what is it that you can do? Solutions is what we are going to talk on FYI today. Joining us on the program, we've got Dr. Vikas Taneja with us. He's HOD Pediatrics Intensive Care at Manipal Hospital, Dwarka, in the national capital. We've got Dr. Sanjeev Gya with us, Chairman and Front Clinic, Senior Consultant Pediatrician Neurologist. We have Dr. P.S. Narang with us, also back on the program. And he's got great insights on how to work. He's a pediatric, of course, director at Max Healthcare. Dr. Narang, let me begin by asking you, I've just pointed out what research is saying and how kids are at greater risk. But let's talk solutions over here. Everybody wants to know, all parents, all kids desperate to know how to actually carry on with life in this present atmosphere. What is a solution you give to your patients?
Thank you for inviting me in the show, and it is really shocking. And you know, everything is happening every year, and the toxic levels are going so high, and you need to do something, but our law, our system doesn't happen. The 5 major things, the sulfur oxide, the ozone, and coming from the burning of the crops, everything, it continues. The law has to bring in that we must stop this happening. In the house, inside, you can put a purifier. And you know, even purifiers cannot bring the AQI index from 400 to 100 because it doesn't work. The pollution is very high. I mean, when you highlight all these problems, the only solution is we have a very strict law, and we should not permit anything happening every year and year. Inside the house, mothers can bring down dust level by putting lots of, you know, the vacuum cleaning is a good thing and mopping is a good thing. Don't do dusting. Dusting only throw dust from one place to another.
Right.
Dhadu, no. Only wet mopping and vacuum are the 2 ways of reducing pollution inside. And no tobacco, parents should not smoke. No agarbattis, no diyas, and everything to be done.
Right. So, well, not smoke. There's an app actually which says that breathing in Delhi NCR air is like smoking. So, there is, if you're smoking on top of that, then God help you. Let me go to Dr. Sanjeev Bagai next. Dr. Sanjeev, you know, we are very privileged, those who can afford an air purifier. I just want to say that outrightly. Not everybody can afford. There are so many people who are out on the streets, don't even understand. They're struggling for 2 square meals a day. Forget about trying to tackle air. That's what makes it so imperative for governments to take action on this issue. We're actually taking up this issue at a time when a very big conference on environment is actually taking place, and the world is coming together, developed and undeveloped countries, to try and find a solution. But I want to look at solutions for people like you and I who are facing it now, today. Currently, when you have young parents come up to you very worried about how to carry on with newborns as well in the country, what is your recommendation? I understand N95 mask is what all doctors recommend. But an N95 mask is not made to the size of a kid. He can never wear it and utilize its full potential because it will always have air coming out.
Yeah, good evening. So, of course, the air pollution is now become more than a serious threat. It's actually reached a grave consequence level as far as children are concerned. And children being almost 40-45% of the Indian population from 0 to 18 years of age. And the most vulnerable are the smaller kids below the age of 5 or below the age of 7. They are the early school goers. The schools have now started. They play in groups, in smaller congregations. And they have outdoor sports activities. So obviously they are exposed to it much more at hours of the day where the pollution is still very high. children's lung capacity is a lot different as compared to adults, and their reserve lung volume is also much different as compared to adults. They are more predisposed to respiratory, both viral and bacterial infections, and therefore they have a host of conditions. Almost 35 to 40% of metro children below the age of 5 or 6 have some episodes of wheezing and bronchitis. But apart from that, the more hidden dangers is that the pollution, because it contains ingredients such as potassium nitrate, charcoal, sulfur, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, methane, ammonia, and so on, including heavy metals, radioactive substances, hydrofluorocarbons, which are carcinogenic. So all these agents are what we call as oxidative stress. They cause chronic inflammation. So you may not see it externally or internally for years later, but it keeps building up, and these same children in the next few decades are going to present with chronic lung disease, chronic kidney disease. The brain will be impacted, the cognitive function. More saddening thing is that the pregnant ladies are now going to be impacting the fetuses in terms of structural abnormalities, congenital abnormalities, premature births, and so on. So really, we need to take this at a war footing. The things to do are basically to wear a mask if the children are going outside. We can still have a well-fitted N95 mask or a double-layered mask with a double knot at both sides to fit the child's face, to make sure that their early morning and late evening exposures is minimized. Children who are predisposed to wheezing should consult the doctor for the prophylactic medication, including the inhalers. No home remedies, which can often be very detrimental. Do not self-prescribe medicines. Do not take the fever medicines on your own or combination antibiotics unless until you consult your doctor. But the more important thing is long-term impact as far as the physical and mental growth is concerned is going to take a huge hit. It's an old saying, what I am today is what I was yesterday. So 80% of a child's structural growth potential is completed before the second birthday. And we have to protect the next generation, otherwise it's going to be middle of nowhere.
Right. I just want to understand, we keep hearing this from doctors, and if Dr. Taneja can sort of weigh in on that, we keep hearing from doctors, and Dr. Bagai also said that there are going to be long-term impacts. You will see a compromised lung, or you will see compromised brains as well in the future. Is there something concrete you can tell us? Have you seen this in kids? Is there some concrete evidence that has come out in this regard?
First of all, thank you very much for inviting me. I think Dr. Bagai as well as Dr. Narang have very beautifully pointed out that pollution definitely has a long-term impact. From India, we may not have a large number of studies, but across the world, there is enough evidence and enough literature to say, and based on that only these figures what you are seeing, they are coming out. That the risk definitely is not, it's just not on the paper, it is actually there. So that is point number one. Point number two is that whenever we are talking of the long-term risk, is because what we are seeing right now, the way things are going and the way the children are getting affected, and what we see in adults also going through the long-term scenarios, and we see how bad they are behaving. So we can, a lot of times we can extrapolate that what will happen with children. But yes, if you talk of concrete evidence definitely is there in literature where long-term impacts have been seen, especially in adolescents as well as the early adult life.
But like I said, it's such a tragic time because all these kids did nothing to deserve this. All their parents did was breathe. And that's how they've landed up in this situation. That's how bad it really is. We're going to take a break and we're going to let our viewers have all this information sink in. When we come back, we're again going to talk about some top 2-3 things that you can do as a parent, as a young or an old parent, to try and see how you can safeguard your kid in the present atmosphere. That's coming up on the other side. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Let's go back to our panel now. Dr. Bagai, I want to start by just giving out a couple of pointers now to parents. A couple of important points that we discussed so far. Do not. The natural thing is to send out kids to play early in the morning or late in the evening, just the worst time when the pollution is at its peak. So that is the time kids should stay indoors. That's number one. Ensure that there is a mask, an N95, not a regular clinical mask. It doesn't do anything. Have an N95 mask on. If they are, and there is an air purifier working around the clock in the house, ensure there is a bowl of water so that the humidity level is in check as well. These three things is what we know. Anything else that can be sort of talked about in terms of diet, water content, etc., that will be useful for kids?
Yeah, so I think the simple message, especially during this peak of pollution, is keep things simple, rely on home food, try to avoid fast food, try to avoid trans fats, try to avoid very oily food, adequate amount of hydration, the water should be of good quality, don't self-medicate the child, do not rely on alternative medicines, consult your doctor, do not hesitate to show a minor symptom because it could be a forerunner for something more severe which is developing. I would strongly recommend that at least once every year during this peak pollution time, children ongoing should have an executive health check. I think at least we should know what the basic body biochemistry and hematology is. Consult your doctor, even if it is not a physical meeting, at least on the phone, so that the doctor is abreast of what is happening, especially the children who are vulnerable and who are on immunosuppressant therapy need to be a little bit more careful.
Right.
We also know that pollution is a forerunner of transmitting more amount of COVID. With every notch of PM2.5 increasing, twofold increase of COVID transmission can take place. So we need to be careful. Every fever need not be COVID, but fever could be a forerunner for viral and bacterial infections. Only rely on
there could be a lot of
paracetamol at home.
overlapping sort of things that you are experiencing as well that can happen. So do not self-medicate is a very good advice, and parents should be first consulting doctors and let them take a call on that. Quick comments by Dr. Narang.
Yeah, in general, reducing the pollution, it's much more important. So I will tell everybody to reduce the pollution, we should reduce the trips in the cars, or we should not burn anything during this part. We should not burn like waste around, and we should avoid using any diesel cars. So we must do it at a full level. I mean, what Dr. Bagai is saying, right? Pollution is there. We must take care of ourselves. I think we should do it at a grassroots level so that the pollution.
I
20
see.
countries
so
out
Dr.
of 30
Narang
are
basically
polluted in
saying
India.
be the change that you want to see as well and walk that path one step at a time. Last few comments by Dr. Taneja as well.
I usually, when we are advising our patients, I usually divide them into two categories. One is kids who are healthy, as well as the other category where they already have an underlying problem like asthma or recurrent respiratory allergies. So, in general, giving them the scenario of what not to do and what to do, I think that holds true what Dr. Bagai has clearly mentioned. But in terms of children who already have asthma or respiratory allergies, I usually advise them to be very, very cautious for early checks. They should not take any symptoms lightly. Unnecessarily taking antibiotics is the worst thing they can do. They should never skip their medications. Home remedies, yes, definitely, they will not do any good, but they can do more harm because the respiratory conditions can worsen. In terms of fever, yes, it can be just simple viral fever, so we just need to manage the fever. Most of the time what we see is, especially after COVID, I mean, people go in, get the test done on their own, start medication on their own, left, right and center. We are seeing n number of prescriptions every day. And half the time we are just stopping the medication. We are not, we are cutting down on the drugs that you don't need.
So it's the
this,
COVID paranoia you're saying
So
of
I think-
over medication that has gone in, which needs to stop as well. That could be doing more harm. All right. So lots of tips there coming in over there. Thank you all for joining us and giving such valuable information and sharing it with parents as well. This is an anxious time, but like we said, do what you can. And then we can all remember this once we go and use the power in our hands. Ensure that this is what dominates your mind. Next time you go out and vote, perhaps environment is what will directly impact you and I, is impacting you and I every day. That's it on FI Today. Bye for now.